Vasquez. But this is his time, I would say, all around the world.
Sure. Francisco just so unorthodox.
Very good opponent. Look at that. Wow. Wow. And that happened a couple of times here in this bout, but time was just ticking.
Ang makakaharap ng Pinoy sa laban na ito, mga idol bossing, ay hindi basta-bastang boksingero. Kumbaga dito sa Pilipinas ay kilalang kilala ang ating pambansang kamao Manny Pacquiao at pumapangalawa ang ating Filipino Flash Nonito Donaire noong panahong kanilang kapanahunan. Masasabi nating ka-level ni Nonito Donaire itong si Roberto Vasquez kung sa popularity lang sa kanilang bansa ang pagbabasihan natin. Matapos magretiro ang kilalang boksingero na si Roberto Duran sa bansa ng Panama, si Roberto Vasquez ang responsable sa pagbabalik sa larangang boxing sa kanilang bansa. Kilalang kilala si Vasquez hindi lang sa Panama kundi pati na rin sa buong mundo bilang isang mahusay na boksingero. Maraming mga di-kalibre ang mga pinaretiro nito kaya siya naging paborito ng mga tao. Wika ng mga commentators, walang Panama ang Pinoy sa kanilang pinaburang bata. Sobrang dihado ang Pinoy, mga idol bossing. Malayong malayo daw ang level ng Pinoy sa pambato ng Panama. Kaya naman dito, mga idol bossing, magugulat at matatawa kayo sa kakaibang galaw ng Pinoy na ito. Wika ng mga commentators ay nimoy sinasapian ni Neseem at ni Charlie Chaplin sa sobrang likot ng galaw nito. Panoorin nyo, mga idol bossing, kung paano dinispatcha ng Pinoy na si Drian Francisco ang 2-division world champion ng Panama na si Roberto Vasquez. Pero bago ang lahat, kung ngayon ka palang napadpad sa ating munting channel, mas maganda kung na-subscribe ka na at pindutin mo na rin ang notification bell button para lagi ka ma-notify sa ating mga bagong uploads. Huwag din natin kalimutang suportahan ang ating bagong merch, mga idol bossing.
Can't stop what's moving. I'm changing my life and I won't look back ever again.
WBA flyweight champion and light flyweight champion laban sa hindi pa masyadong kilalang Pinoy sa panahon na iyon. October 3, 2009, dito sa sarili nating teritoryo ginanap ang laban ng dalawa sa Cuneta Astrodome, Pasay City. Nakataya sa laban na ito ang nooy bakanting WBA International Superfly, kaya sa pagkakataong ito ginagalingan masyado ng Pinoy ang kanyang mga galawan. Si Drian Francisco noon, mga idol bossing, ay may kartadang 17 panalo, walang talo, may isang tabla at 13 dito ay tinapos via knockout. Samantala ang pambato naman ng Panama na si Roberto Vasquez ay may kartadang 27 panalo, may 3 talo at 20 nito ay tinapos via knockout. Huwag na nating patagalin to, mga idol bossing, bakbakan na agad.
Big step up for Drian Francisco, but his management wants him.
Vasquez in the silver trunks.
Yesterday at the weigh-in, he had a little trouble getting to the 115 limit.
City when he KO'd the Indonesian Sharil side of the Philippines.
First fight to the very talented and world-rated Hugo Caceres.
Acknowledged a flying left hand by Francisco as we are approaching the end of the opening round. Oh, and a nice floor. That was held in Panama City earlier this year. So I think a lot of these world championship fighters ring a round or two to get his boxing feet back on, and a nice left hand by Francisco stuns the former world champ.
Fought on.
He says, yeah, he acknowledged this is a big fight, but his trainer, his team, and even himself, they say, this by Vasquez. But this is his time, he says. And, you know, we talked about the off balance by Francisco, and there's a good evidence.
Even so much to the point where he corrected the
Three in commerce.
That's very unusual in boxing here in the Philippines.
Well, just not in the Philippines, I would say all around the world.
Sure. You see that? He throws. He reminds me of like Hasim Hamed. You know, just throws punches from all angles.
And that has brought this partisan Filipino crowd to its feet here in the Cuneta Astrodome.
Francisco's feeling it. He's getting some confidence.
Less than 10 left to go here in the second round. As Vasquez. Oh, and a nice in the corner of the former world champion, Roberto Vasquez. As
when he lost his first fight at this weight of 115. And again, we talked about the motivational problems. Does he still want to be a world champion? And can he carry whatever power and speed he had at the earlier weights, at the lower weights, into this higher weight class?
Well, you know, Ted, we were talking before this bout about the pressure, perhaps, on the shoulders of Roberto Vasquez.
Well, for sure.
The shouldering, you know, the pride and the pride of boxing in his native country of Panama.
Well, the press is very hard on him in Panama. The boxing is probably the most popular sport in Panama, along with baseball. So they take a keen interest in it, and they will crucify him for sure if he doesn't win this fight. He's definitely expected to.
For some reason, the unorthodox and the perhaps never seen a fighter like him.
Great counterpunch from Francisco. And can come at you from all angles. And actually had pretty decent power.
Straight left scores by Francisco is speed. I would think that boxers at this weight
that affects his speed. Obviously that's going to affect your speed. One fight at 115 pounds, junior bantam or super fly as some people call it, and he lost that fight.
So as La Araña, or the Spider, came out in the Spider garb, looking like Spider-Man. Oddly enough, even though he's called Spider, as Francisco has him up against the ropes now.
Good shot to the body by Francisco. And Vasquez really doesn't have an answer right now. I'm surprised because how low Francisco keeps that left hand.
It's called the Spider-Man, and he's deadly afraid of spiders.
You see that left hand so far down. Maybe he's been tagged a few times with the right hand, and he's just considering that. And Vasquez seems to be not quite loose yet. He seems to be a little bit sluggish.
It has been some time since his last fight, back in March of 2009. Wild swing by Francisco. Oh, and tags him there with the left. Nice left jab. And there's the bell. And coming into this particular fight was Duran Francisco.
Puts you in the ratings, it gets you noticed all over the world, and it makes you a very good opponent. Look at that!
Oh, and a big sweeping left hand, and down goes the former world champion. But up on his feet. He says he's okay. He's taking the standing 8 count. Boy, that was a haymaker that came in from left field.
And he's out of it right now. He doesn't know where he is.
And a big left hand and a right as Drian Francisco is beginning target practice. And Vasquez has to get off that rope.
He's got no answer. Vasquez has nothing.
He is picking apart the former world champion. Francisco, the bombardier of his own plane, opening up the payload and loading and dropping the bombs. And there was a big right hand. Vasquez does not know where he is.
He just has no answer, Vasquez. Francisco is just pouring it on.
I give Vasquez credit. He has taken a ton of shots and still continues to fire back.
But he really doesn't have anything. He's just hanging on. And he's been sluggish all throughout. And I'll give Francisco, he's the one that came out. He gets all the credit here. He came out totally in shape, totally relaxed and ready for this fight.
Boy, look at Vasquez. It's just standing right up like it's just not a moving target. Like ducks in a pond. And Francisco is taking full advantage. Boy, Vasquez is in a place right now, and it's not a good place.
Not at all. And this has been building up since the very first round. He never got unleashed. He never got out of the mud. He's been stuck, Vasquez. And Francisco just so unorthodox. Look at that.
Did you see that? It's like a Superman punch in mixed martial arts.
You got to love Francisco taking advantage of being on this stage. He wants to show his wares. He wants to show how slick he is. Fighting some of the best in the world in this division, at the 115 division. See that? He throws the punch. He's this Russell. Vasquez doesn't have the pop and the sting in any of his punches.
Widely popular, at least here in the Philippines, Adrian Francisco. If he doesn't watch out against this fast hand Filipino. Nice jab.
I'm just amazed at Francisco.
Francisco now starting to go to town as the former world champion starts to cover up. Oh, that stuck in. Oh, that right hand got in there.
You better believe it did. And that body punch got in there.
We talked about his eating habit. Vasquez needs to go on a diet, and he's getting a steady diet of left and right hands. To the head. To the body.
Recall the last time I've seen that, except maybe Neseem Hamed.
He is like putting his face out there and daring him.
Adrian Francisco is doing right now. And the way he's doing it, this is going to really raise his profile in the junior bantamweight division.
Now he's got him stand up in the goal, and a big right hand rocks the head back of Vasquez. It's really sad to see. I mean, you've heard about Roberto Vasquez and all his accomplishments. Well, both Panamanian, that's where it ends.
Hours, that is not the recipe for health and physical fitness.
He pointed it out. He had a lot of success early, quickly. Nice roundhouse right, another right.
And wouldn't this be an exclamation point on a very fine and great performance?
Did you see that uppercut? Face that he stepped into the ring with.
Well, he doesn't want to be in the ring. He doesn't want to be
not comfortable. From the get-go.
Wow. This could end in a knockout or the referee stopping this.
Continuing this.
We will start to see him get fights against top name opponents, and this is exactly what his dream was. This is why his management took a risk to face a guy of this caliber, because you got to take a gamble sometimes in order to reach the mountaintop.
Well, Christian Maharis of Mexico in the house today, sitting ringside, and a nice overhand left. And now a flurry here at the end. Oh, big shot, and down goes the champion. The former champ is down for the second time in this fight, taking the mandatory 8. And when it is done, it is over. The new hero.
Style is going to attract a lot of attention. Let's watch the knockout. It's just an onslaught.
Wow. Wow. And that happened a couple of times here in this bout, but time was just ticking away here, and you can't be saved by the bell. And so there was only a couple of seconds left to go in the round, and that's all she wrote. In Filipino boxing is Adrian Francisco. I really thought that Vasquez would survive the round and just kind of get out of harm's way and then go to the 11th, but
you could see
Adrian Francisco had other ideas.
You could see that Vasquez was wobbly for a few rounds there. It was so obvious he didn't want to be here. Adrian Francisco A new face, a new name in the junior bantamweight division for all these top contenders now to look out for. The gamble paid off for Adrian Francisco and his management team.
If you did not know about Adrian Francisco before today, you know about him now.